Up next on the Rush Hour podcast, a couple political stories to get to, as AOC may be investigated by the Department of Justice. But first, how about this story? Donald Trump's executive branch has fired 16 staffers that work for the World Trade Center Health Program. And now we're hearing from a former first responder and why he says this is terrible news and complete backstabbing to all those who helped clean up after 9/11.
First responders and survivors are questioning the federal government's vow to never forget after a new round of cuts to the program, helping thousands of them who were exposed to toxic dust after the attacks. The World Trade Center Health Program says 16 staffers were fired Friday, and that in total, a quarter of the staff has been removed since the start of the Trump administration. Advocates say it's an outrageous betrayal of first responders and survivors now coping with cancer. But last night, the president claimed not to know anything about it.
I was the one in my first term that helped them get money and helped them really live a much better life. That was a very important thing I did in my first term, but I'm not aware of anything that may have been brought up.
You just heard what the president said. He's not aware of this at all. What's your message to him?
Well, one, thank you for having me. He's being disingenuous. He's lying. The bill that he signed in his first term was the extension of the VCF till 2090 to coincide with the extension of the World Trade Center Health Program to 2090. One's healthcare, one's compensation.
What are you hearing from people who are directly impacted by this?
That they're trying to get in to see their doctors and they can't get an appointment, or they're not being able to talk to their caseworkers. The list goes on.
Do they say to you, I'm worried whether or not I'm going to survive this?
Absolutely. We talk about cancer, and 1 in 3 in the World Trade Center Health Program have cancer.
1 in 3.
40,000 plus people have a 9/11 certified 9/11 cancer.
Now, look, I don't know much. I don't have family who's been affected by what happened at 9/11, but I can say this. My father passed away from Agent Orange, which was a defoliant used in Vietnam to, essentially remove the forest so that they can see the enemy. But of course, we poisoned our own people, and it's a neurotoxin amongst a bunch of other things, and it's terrible for the human body. And what happened on 9/11 and toxic burn pits that have been used in the military. This is bad stuff. Now, I've said this a million times and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. We need universal health care in our country. We need to protect people so that they can get treatment for, first of all, these first responders, these firemen, the people that were there working demolition, excavating the scene there. But we need health insurance for everybody that lives in our country. It should be a system we all pay into. It's absolutely ridiculous that people can't get the help that they need. American heroes. I take a hard line on that. And, in this last election, and by the way, the Democrat Party didn't talk about universal health care. And of course, Donald Trump didn't either. He said he has concepts of a plan. The system's broken and there's no way to patch it together. We need a complete overhaul, and we need a leader with a vision to make that happen. Now, I want to share this. Kristi Noem says she thinks AOC should be investigated by the Department of Justice. This is absolutely wild. Have a listen to what she had to say.
Let me get your reaction, Tom Homan, referring Congresswoman AOC to the Justice Department. She had a webinar, Know Your Rights, and as part of it recommended that illegal immigrants ask for warrants, deploy phones to record ICE searches, tips on how to differentiate between ICE people and others. Is this what you see, and I'm sure you've looked at it, is this aiding and abetting in your view?
I think the Department of Justice absolutely should look into this situation. We've seen not just those that serve in public office be willing to break the law to facilitate the invasion that has happened and allow criminals to stay here. We've also seen judges take radical action to help protect these criminals. It's time that we stand for what's right. The American people are sick of these people.
No, the American people are sick of her hoop earrings. Who the hell is this lady? The Barbie border czar over here. So she is, and by the way, If AOC is aiding and embedding illegal immigrants, then what are you going to also do? Start arresting lawyers who are helping their clientele just by educating them on their rights? This is absolutely ridiculous. And you know what? She's not afraid of them. And that's why I believe she needs to be running for office of the highest levels for the next president of the United States. Because we need people, she was a waiter. She was a bartender. She doesn't take corporate money, right? And she actually won her representative district and got a lot of votes from people that also voted for Trump. So there is this cross appeal because she's a popular candidate. Now, people are going to say, Dave, she would never win. The right's obsessed with her. That's my point. They're obsessed with her, and I think they're afraid of her. And not only AOC, but Pete Buttigieg also doesn't take corporate money. And I think in this modern world, and I've talked to a lot of people about this, specifically my in-laws and others, and I've said, look, we need in the Democratic Party to be as clean as possible out there. I don't care if the other side is super dirty and takes dark money and has crypto billions and this and that. You need to be crystal clean. You need to. And you do that by only accepting money from individual donations and small donations and things like that. And why do you do that? Well, Kamala Harris spent more money than Donald Trump did on this last election, and it didn't win her one extra electoral vote. And I think you just need to realize that we live in a time and place where your message will go further and louder if it's done with the right megaphone, and that is by and for the people. Here is what Andrew Yang has to say about why he thinks Pete Buttigieg will be running for president.
Also running from the 2020 field, Pete Buttigieg just bypassed a Senate race that was very winnable for him.
Yeah.
So it seems pretty clear what he's going to be going for.
I've always been impressed by Pete. I really have. He's so articulate and he's like so nice and endearing. I just like him. I don't know how to explain it. Like, not like in a way where I'm like, I have to vote for him. I just think we'd be friends. Is that weird to say?
And the one criticism people have of Pete Buttigieg is that they've never seen him yell. And they say, well, we've never seen him yell. We need a candidate who can yell. And I think you got that in AOC. I don't even care which one of them wants to be president and or vice president. Make Pete Buttigieg president, put AOC vice president, and take care of the next 16 years while we do clean up on aisle 7. And again, you might say, Dave, this is ridiculous. Well, fine. That's fair. But I at least want to promote candidates on either side of the aisle that are not taking dark money and not taking donations from other countries, not taking money from corporations and insurance companies and political lobbyist groups and things like that. That's who I want, somebody who speaks for the people and someone who fights for the people and fights for health care so that we don't have 60,000 plus people a year that are dying because they can't get proper treatment. I believe in that world, and I think we can make it happen. All right, that's it for me. I'll be back this afternoon. We'll see you then. I'm Dave Neal, and this is The Rush.